Why are we here? We are here for our children. We are here for the children of Nigeria. We are here to ensure that the ban on sachet alcohol and alcohol in small bottles less than 200 ml remain banned. We are here to make sure that we have a future. Alcohol is one of the most widely used substances of abuse among youths. Several studies on alcohol indicate that within the last few decades, there has been a rapid increase in alcohol availability, production, importation, and consumption across all age groups in Nigeria. The availability and easy access to alcohol have been identified as a contributory factor to the increasing alcohol consumption among minors. NAFDAC's council has representatives from the AFBT, Association of Food and Beverage, and from DBAN, the Distillers Association. They are part of our council. In 2018, I'm not going to read all my speech. In 2018, AFBTE and DBAN took NAFDAC to the ministry that we are trying to reduce the concentration of alcohol in sachet. By that time, it was like 50% in the sachet. Beer is about 6 to 8%. So you can imagine how concentrated that is. And the fact that it is easy to access, it is easy to conceal. We didn't know how bad it was. However, the Ministry of Health called all of us. FCCPC was there. And the ban said that, and AFBT said that their businesses will be destroyed. That's what 2018. The then Professor Adewale, the Ministry of Health Minister, gave these trade groups 5 years to reorganize their business. And in 2024, February 1, 5 years after, we started enforcement because our mandate is to regulate and control the manufacture, importation, exportation, distribution, advertisement, sale, and use of 7 regulated products. Alcohol is part of food. They resisted us. And they took us to the Committee on NAFDAC at the National Assembly, who told us to suspend what we were doing in 2024. It went back and forth throughout 2024. We couldn't do what we were supposed to do. In December 2024, the minister said we should give an extra 1 year, Minister of Health, Professor Pate, extra 1 year. And we gave. So we started enforcement, especially because the Senate gave us the order, the National Assembly. The Senate gave us the order to resume because these trade sectors came back. They want another extension. However, in 2018, when this moratorium was given, we were also told to do a survey to even see the impact on our children. We did our survey in NAFDAC. The results were not pleasing to the distillery group. They said they want an independent survey. So we had an independent survey. It was conducted in 2021 during the pandemic. The overall objective of the research is to undertake a national survey of consumers and retailers of alcohol, beverages, and wines to determine the extent of alcohol abuse among underage. A total of about 2,000 were used from 6 geopolitical zones. And the result was damning. The result was damning to this country. Why? Because it was found out that 54.3% of minors and underage obtain alcohol by themselves from various sources. 49.9% of them patronize retailers of drinks sold in sachet packs and PET bottles. 50% of our children drink alcohol. Findings further suggest that minors and underage also access alcoholic drinks from friends and relatives, about 50% also, as well as from social gatherings. Of those who procure drinks for themselves, 47.2% of minors and 48.8% of underage procure drinks in sachets because it is easy to conceal. Whether you are a good parent or not good, bad, or you are a bad parent, doesn't really matter. These sachets are easy to conceal, and that is what NAFDAC has banned. Packet sizes that are small, that children can conceal. Frequency of alcohol consumption by minors and underage. The survey data revealed that 63.2% of minors and 54% of underage drink alcohol occasionally, while 44.3% and 38.3% of adults drink alcohol occasionally and daily, respectively. So they even drink it more than adults because it is easy to conceal. Additionally, 9.3% of minors and 25.2% of underage children consume alcoholic beverages, and 11.3% of minors and 9.4% of underage consume alcohol at least once a week. As young as 9 years old in this survey consume alcohol. Most minors underage, summary of findings, buy alcohol for themselves. It's about 50 naira to buy sachet alcohol. Some people have been rich, have been made rich, but some children are losing their future, their livelihoods in the future. Some children are potential patients for liver cirrhosis, for kidney failure, for mental instability. The pattern of alcohol consumption and abuse by minors and underage. The survey findings revealed that about 11.7% of underage children had ever engaged in binge drinking. This is mostly reported in Gombe, 16.3%, FCT 15%, Anambra 11.4%. In terms of the most use of alcohol, it is Lagos State and Rivers. What is the impact on health? Why are we so concerned in NAFDAC? Because our mandate is to ensure that we protect the health of our people, including children. Impact on health, brain development. Alcohol can damage the hippocampus, memory center in the brain, and prefrontal cortex, leading to permanent issues with learning, memory, and impulse control. I took this from the internet. Immediate dangers. Binge drinking is common, risking alcohol poisoning, which can cause fatal shutdowns of breathing and heart rate. Physical health. Underage drinking is linked to liver and kidney damage, hypertension, disrupted hormone growth, and increased cancer risk later in life. Mental health. It increases risk of depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem. Addiction. Alcohol is an addictive substance. Youth who begin drinking before age 15, the minors and underage in our study, are 41% more likely to become dependent on alcohol. And this study also shows that they graduate to start taking cocaine and other narcotics. Behavioral consequences. Violence is a major factor, alcohol drinking in youth, major factor in youth suicides, homicides, and motor vehicle crashes or accidents. Risky behavior is strongly linked to unprotected sexual activity, unwanted pregnancies, and sexually transmitted diseases. Academic problems. Drinking often leads to lower grades, missed classes, and impaired cognitive function. In our country, it is responsible for banditry. It is responsible for kidnapping. You cannot be in your right mind and point a gun at somebody. It starts from alcohol and then goes on to hard drugs. Because of all this, the Senate decided that they're going to make resolutions. On November 6, 2025, they made the resolutions, and these were communicated to the Secretary to the Federal Government, SGF, on December 1, 2025. And the resolutions urge NAFDAC not to grant further extension to the moratorium and to ensure immediate strict enforcement of the ban on sachet alcohol and alcohol in small bottles. It urges the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare to support NAFDAC on the ban on sachet alcohol and alcohol in smaller volumes. It urges Federal Ministry of Health to release its national alcohol policy that includes prohibition of alcohol in sachets and small volume less than 200 ml. It urges National Orientation Agency and NAFDAC to collaborate and intensify nationwide sensitization of dangers of alcohol in sachets and small volume bottles. In conclusion, access to alcohol by children can be limited if the pack sizes, sachets and small volume bottles that can be easily concealed are made not available, and that ban is going to ensure that, or this ban is going to ensure that. Ban on small pack sizes can reduce the menace of underage drinking. Consumption of alcohol should raise alarm for parents, teachers, religious leaders, and community at large. NAFDAC and National Orientation Agency are collaborating to significantly increase the awareness and sensitization.
Today marks the official flagging off of a joint nationwide campaign by the National Orientation Agency, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, and the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission on the ban of sachet alcoholic drinks in Nigeria. Today, we are taking a united stand for the health, safety, and protection of Nigerian consumers. The federal government of Nigeria, through NAFDAC, has banned the production and sale of alcohol in sachet and in PET or glass bottles below 200 millimeters, effective from 1st of January 2026. This decision is a deliberate public health intervention aimed at reducing underage access to cheap, high concentration alcohol and curbing the alarming pattern of harmful consumption across our communities. This is why this collaboration is important. NAFDAC safeguards public health through regulation. FCCPC protects consumer rights and ensures responsible market practices. The National Orientation Agency mobilizes citizens for behavioral change and national consciousness. Together, we are aligning regulation, consumer protection, and public enlightenment to ensure that this policy achieves its intended impact. For too long, such alcohol has been dangerously accessible. It is inexpensive, it is portable, it is easy to conceal. In many rural and semi-urban communities, it became easier for a young person to obtain a high-strength alcohol than to access proper guidance and protection. When affordability meets vulnerability, the consequences are profound. We have seen those consequences. Early exposure to alcohol significantly increases the risk of addiction and long-term dependency. It undermines educational attainment. It contributes to domestic instability and violence. It is linked to road traffic incidents, risky behavior, and declining productivity. Over time, it weakens families and destabilizes communities. As the saying goes, prevention is better than cure. It is far less costly to prevent harm than to repair damage. Government has both a constitutional duty and a moral obligation to act before harm becomes entrenched. This joint nationwide campaign is therefore not about restriction for its own sake. It is about protection. It is about safeguarding children and vulnerable population. It is about reinforcing responsible consumption standards. It is about strengthening the fabric of our society. The National Orientation Agency will lead the behavioral change component of this campaign with full national deployment. With 818 offices nationwide and operational structures across all 774 local government areas, we will ensure that this message reaches every community. Our state directorate, zonal and local government offices, and our community orientation and mobilization officers will take this campaign directly to rural communities, youth groups, transport unions, market associations, artisans, schools, and faith-based institutions. The engagement will take place in town halls, markets, motor parks, and community centers, delivered in languages that resonate with the people. We will reinforce this effort through sustained media engagement on television and radio, strategic use of digital platforms, active social media campaigns, and collaboration with credible influencers who can speak directly to young audiences. We will also deploy the NOA Clean app, available on Android and Apple platforms, to empower citizens to report violations and support responsible enforcement in their communities. Let it be clearly stated, consumer protection is public protection. Market responsibility is national responsibility. When products undermine health and safety, government must act in the interest of the people. No nation prospers when its youth are caught in circles of preventable addiction. No society advances when harmful practices become normalized. Protecting our children today is an investment in Nigeria's stability and productivity tomorrow. We call on parents and guardians to remain vigilant. We urge community leaders to champion awareness. We expect full compliance from retailers and distributors. We encourage citizens to refuse patronage of banned products and to support lawful enforcement efforts. This joint campaign represents unity of purpose. It demonstrates that public health regulation, consumer protection, and national orientation are not isolated functions, but interconnected pillars of responsible governance. The National Orientation Agency, in partnership with NAFDAC and FCCPC, will not relent in sensitizing our people. We will not relent in promoting responsible citizenship. We will not relent in protecting the well-being of Nigerians. Together, through awareness, compliance, and collective vigilance, we can build a healthier, safer, and more responsible nation.